Out here on Greater Fort Loudon today. See if we can't catch a crappie here this afternoon. Got a windy day, but right here, fortunately, we got a little protection from the wind. See, it's kind of calm out there. Go back around on the other side of that peninsula and it's white capping on that side. So this is going to work out good. Sun came out, it's warm, 50 degrees. Sunny, 50 degrees, feels pretty good. The water's dropping. It's what we've been waiting on. Summer pool is normally right here. Look how far we've gone down. We're only a few feet down from what you call winter pool. So let's get out there. I did catch a few crappie right here the other day, so we know they're moving back in here. And let me get my chest mount on here and we're going to start throwing out and see if we can pick up one or two. So if you might see the very beginning of my last fishing trip, which I caught a couple of 3 crappie, and if I catch any today, they'll probably come at the tail end of the video. So hang out there with us, folks. Let's see if we can catch a crappie today. Let's see what we got right here. That's a crappie. That's a good one. If I can get down here without falling down. Yeah, that's a crappie. Not as big as I thought. My float kind of got wonkered up on me there a little bit, and it felt like he was bigger than he is. This big wooden float I've got, he actually ain't that big. Actually ain't all that big, really. Decent little fish. He hit that little blue jig. So yeah, I thought I had a really nice one. If my line had broke off, I would have swore that was a monster. But the way my float got hooked up there. Let's turn him loose right here. That's a good sign. That's about the 3rd or 4th cast, I guess. There he goes. There he goes. Alright, we got another one on. This will be number 3. Number 2 got off. I hope this is a little bit better one. This big float I've got on here is kind of messing me up a little bit, but this feels like a pretty decent one. Let's go easy with him here, boy. They pull loose pretty easy sometimes. Well, he ain't all that big. I think that float's really messing me up. That's not gonna work out too great if that float keeps making me think I've got a big huge crappie on every time. I got to figure something out. We'll get it worked out though. It's working pretty good. At least I'm catching them here. Kind of a small one, but hit my little blue jig with the red thread. It's got a little flash on it. It did have a black head, but it's lost. Most of the paint's gone off of it now. So there you go. Kind of a small one, but hey, that's a good sign that they're actually out there. I'm going to start off with this weird looking little jig I tied up the other day. It's real kind of folk art looking. It's got a little red thread and a little yellow there. It's blue, white head. I just happen to have it tied on this shorter rod. I'm going to try a little more shallow to start off in this spot that I caught a couple the other day. Since the water's gone down, if they're in this same spot, they shouldn't be all that deep, and this might be just about the right depth for that, which is about 6 feet, I think. 5-6 feet. Can't tell how big he is. He doesn't feel that big right off of the bat. Might be one of those little sand bass or a little bluegill probably, because he ain't very big. Yeah, it's a little bluegill. Hey, that's alright though. That's a good sign that something's out there. A lot of times you do catch these little bluegill right out there amongst the crappie. It kind of comes with the territory. It feels kind of cold, man. Kind of chilly right there. Hey, that's a fish. Got him on this smaller rod, which gave me a little bit more of a fight. So let's make a few more casts, see if we can get a crappie here. Again, this little hand-tied jig, it's got a little blue, a little yellow. Try to get a little scent from this little brim on it there. disguise any of my... Uh-oh, there he goes. Alright, let's get another. I had a feeling that there were some crappie out there. And we got one here, looks like. See how big he's going to be. No, it's not a crappie, it's a big bluegill. Dang it. Well, hey, that's alright. Thought it was going to be a small crappie. And it turned out to be a little bit bigger brim, bluegill. Whatever you want to call them there. But, darn it, well, we'll get back out there. Maybe the next one will be a crappie, but we made an extra long cast out there. So maybe the crappie are out there, and we're pretty deep here. We're about 8 or 9 feet deep under this float. Let's get this little booger turned loose here. There he goes. There he goes. That feels like a little nicer fish right there. There's no doubt about it. That's definitely going to be a little nicer fish. My float might be messing me up a little bit here as far as that goes, but it definitely feels a lot bigger than that brim I had on a minute ago. Yeah, that's a nicer fish right there. We'll just have to see what we've got. Go easy with him. It's a big crappie maybe. Yeah, it's a nicer fish. He's not coming up yet. He's real close to coming up here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a big white bass. All right. I think it's a white bass. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's a white bass. All right, that's good. That's good. I was going to say, man, if that's a crappie, we have got a good one. But that's a white bass. We'll take it. So, white bass are still in here a little bit. Definitely felt a little more sluggish. You can see how deep I'm fishing, folks. There's my float at the top of the rod. It looks like a little cocktail wiener up there. My little handmade float. And he nailed my little blue jig. So let's see if we can get him here without losing my jig. And that's a nice one. You know, when you think you're gonna catch a crappie and you get one of these nicer white bass on. Oh, don't do that. I've got my boot filled up with water right there trying to manipulate this camera. Oh, hold on here. Don't fall down. Oh, Lord, you got to be careful out here on these rocks, folks, and these rubber boots. Your feet get caught up under these rocks and you can't step back and your body starts going back. You'll fall backwards. That's happened to me a couple of times there. Managed to catch myself, but there's a nice one. He liked that little red, white, and blue patriotic jig. It's actually had a black head on it. And most of the paint's gone off of it now. There you go. Decent fish right there. See if we can get another. Let this one go, turn him loose and get him back homeward. And we'll see if we can't get us another one there. There he goes, wrong direction, little buddy. There he goes. Turn him loose in that muddy water, he don't know where to go. So we got a nice one on out there, folks. Well, I've never got this camera to work here. If that's got to be a big white bass. That can't be no crappie. Man, I'm not sure what this is. I'm gonna have to be careful, simply because whatever this is might be bigger than what I think it is. Let me do that right there and be careful. It's a nice fish. That might be a big catfish. Kind of thinking that's probably what that is a big old catfish maybe, or another big white bass, one or the other. It's too big to be a crappie, I think. Well, let's see what we got. A bit of a mystery right here. Probably another big white bass. It's okay. Hey, on a winter day like this, we'll take about whatever we can catch. And when they're big like this, whoa, man, that is a white bass. Trying not to horse him. I got that 6 pound test right there. And He's really fighting. Got him out there in that little bit deeper water. So that's two out of about the same spot right there. There he is right there. Big one. We'll take them. They're fun. Fun getting them up under this float like this. Oh, little blue crappie jig, hand tied. Started off with a black head, little red thread that seems to do the trick for him. Yeah. Not quite bluebird skies, folks. We had a front move through last night and we got a little rain. But as you see, it ain't quite all the way moved through. It ain't turned bluebird yet, but it's going to get cold tonight and the bottom's going to drop out. And I guess tomorrow will probably be more like what you call a bluebird sky day. Let's move down here in this clear water just a little bit. Turn him loose down here where we can get a little bit of a release on him. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got a little clear water right here, folks. I don't really want to do an underwater shot right now, but hey. So there he goes, nice big white bass. There he goes. Got one right across that little spot right there. Let's hope it's crappie. Go easy with it. Feels kind of hard to tell. I don't know, it almost feels more like a white bass. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, it's crappie. That's a little crappie. Good. Finally got one. I had a feeling they were out there. Kept bringing it back across that one little spot. And I kept getting a few little bumps. Felt like little crappie thumps. And I'm just a little more shallow than I was with the other rod. I got one rod set up about 8 feet deep. This one's more about 6.5, I guess. Again, little blue jig. This one's a little funky with the red thread and a little touch of yellow rooster feather right there with that red thread. Gives it a little different look. But hey, this little white crappie. Little white crappie right here. Right here on Greater Fort Loudon. There we go. Alright, let's get him turned loose down here in a little bit more clear water. Alright, Mr. Crappie. Hopefully you'll be the first of many more to come this winter. Here we go, wintertime crappie season kind of beginning in Tennessee, folks. There he goes. Alright, folks, we got one. I think this might be a little better. He just came up to the top of the water right there and looked like a little better crappie. Well, he ain't that big now. Looks can be deceiving. But that is a crappie though. That's our second crappie today. Crappie number 2. Well, he ain't very big. That big float on there. Kind of throwing me off a little bit, but that's the second one today. The other day I caught 2 or 3 out of this same little spot, so there's some cover out there, and just a matter of getting it right over the top of them. Maybe pull 1 or 2 out of there. So we'll see if we can get another one here. It's not in here real thick like yet, folks, but it's going that direction. They're getting in here a little better each day, I believe. I think it's going to be a pretty good December for crappie here on Fort Loudon. Let this little boy grow up and get him next year, a little bigger.